DC Comics person.
Panda. Hold up, alright?
Ryan, can you enemy Panda so you can like stop talking over each other?
That's true.
I'm sorry. No, wait. Ryan, say that again. So
Okay.
like he reads a lot of comics in the actual books and stuff.
Yeah. So he knows a lot of the like really obscure stories in the universe that kind of help build like and are like important in some kind of subplot.
Yeah, for me, I'm more of like a Wikipedia reader, you know, like.
Yeah.
No, but anyways, isn't Wesley also the one you keep talking about when he talks about politics and such?
Yeah. He's pretty much the biggest Republican I know, so there's that too.
What? Dang.
Republicans need a puppet.
Wait a second.
Get your whole hand up your
Trying to think. Have I seen him before?
I'm sure you have.
Wes?
He's a big one.
Was he here last year?
Yeah, he's been here, I think, all of high school. Yeah.
You know, Ryan, would you say I'm like the biggest liberal, you know? Or no?
No. No.
Dang. Who is?
True.
No, Joey's like, doesn't even know anything.
I would put, well, I'm gonna say for sure, I don't know who the biggest one is, but I would say no, because I would say Seth is probably higher.
Dude, I don't know, Seth, do you think, you know?
Yeah.
Yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, why is that?
A lot of the comments he makes.
What? Panda?
Correct.
Yeah, Joey's he's my friend, that he's not on play. Well, his PlayStation got taken down.
Yeah, I just wanted to say goodnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering where you went. Oh my god.
I don't know.
There's a Bastion in the corner. I didn't even see him, dude. Wow.
I mean, a lot of the comments. Well, the thing is, Ryan, like,
Let's play.
I don't really make a lot of comments because of the suppression you guys put against me, you know, and the argument of 87, you know.
Yeah. Of course.
So it's like, I don't know. I don't get to express myself as much. But, you know, I've been talking to Seth a lot because, you know, I don't know. I actually feel like I'm more liberal than Seth. That's the thing. But, like, but still, though, I don't know. Well, I don't know. You know, we're both, like, you know, like strong Bernie supporters. You know, Bernie's, like, as left as you can get, you know, in the U.S.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but no, you're not. Probably because there's way more of the, like, the femboard
that you know,
Tumblr feminist types. Well, that I know. I don't know many people, so I don't know if I can really say anything.
Oh yeah, of course, not in the world. You know what the heck?
No, I'm saying like at the school, I still know enough people to be like, yeah, this person.
I don't know. Oh yeah, that is true. Like, cause you know the thing is, Ryan, once it gets to a certain extent, it becomes authoritarian. You know, it's either right or the left. You know, it becomes like. Thing is, Ryan, if you think about it, there will be a political spectrum, right? It's actually more like a circle if you really think about it. You know,
I like circles.
Like, no. I'm being serious. All right, hear me out. So, like, if I were to draw a diagram, you know how it goes. Just think of the spectrum, right? The regular spectrum, you know. But just think if you got the both ends, fascism and communism, and bended them all the way around, you know, down. They connect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, once it gets past the 50th parallel, you know, once it gets past the middle line, you know, it becomes like towards
oh
the
my god!
Yeah.
Ryan, did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't talk to enough politically minded people to be able to say, basically.
Say
well,
what?
you have me, so
if you're the literal person I know.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, no, I'm not even talking about that anymore.
Sure. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, like,
well, the thing is, it's like, oh, Nikes.
Oh, Schnickles.
Ow. Ow. Stop it.
I don't want to get roasted today.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Like,
I like, you know, an honest opinion here. You know how it's like, I don't know, like when you think of a stereotypical really far liberal person or really far Republican person, you know, you think, oh man, that person's like, you know, narrow-minded. They're like probably really like unreasonable. You know, they're like, oh dude, this person is like will never change their opinion. You know.
Not necessarily, although it rarely happens.
Really? No, I mean not necessarily, but I said like the stereotype or at least the first thoughts you think of a person like that.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm pretty, like, fairly reasonable. You know, that's the thing. You know, like, I want to have open discussion a lot. Because that's the thing is, like, usually I'll try and talk to someone, like, sometimes Alex will be like, oh, I want the Trump. And I'm like, oh, why do you want Trump? I'm curious. I don't like talking about politics.
Alex is stupid. I don't know why you're going to go off of him.
No, I'm just saying, like, for example, because that's happened to other people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, yeah, I don't like talking about politics. And I'm like, but you literally you're the one who brought it up, you know? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the burden of proof is on you, buddy, you know? Like, yeah. No, but, like, I've talked to other people, probably people you don't know, that's the thing. Like, where it's just like, they'll bring up, oh, man, this and that, and Trump. I'm like, but wait a second, that's not true. He's gonna raise the military budget, and it's already huge. I don't like talking about politics. He's like, what? No, you do? Yeah, what? You literally brought it up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because everyone wants to have everyone wants to sound smart, like they know what they're talking about with politics, but then they really don't, so they just kind of fall back on that. That's why I don't even bother. Because I don't know much about politics, I'm just like, you know what?
Can't you see that happening a lot? Like, that happens a lot, dude. It's like...
yeah, I know it happens a lot. That's why I try not to go into that group.
No, but the thing is, like, I actually do, like, if I feel like, this is why I don't want to say it, Ryan. It's because everyone says it, but I feel like I actually do know a lot, like a decent amount, you know, because I like...
You do.
No, because, you know what I'm saying? Because I always, like, look at, like, I always read up on Wikipedia and, like, look at all the different, you know, what is it? Fuck. All the different, like, issues and all the stances on the thing and, you know, what the history is and whatnot, you know? Yeah. You know, a lot of obscure kind of deals, you know? And it's like... Yeah. You know, and I hate it's like sucks when like a bunch of people who like think they know a lot. It's kind of that shirt you and Ben have, you know, where it's like people who think they know a lot annoy the people who do.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that always happens, and it kind of like gets me like, you know what? But you do, you know. It's like, but I actually, well, the thing is, I would like to learn from like other people who know like more than me.
Yeah.
So like Tyler then.
Yeah, Tyler.
Correct. Yeah. So.
You know, what would you say if Tyler actually knew the most about politics, like out of like anybody on Earth, but just acted really like stupid?
I'd be really sad.
Well, what if he was deceiving us this whole time? What if like he came out or like one day, you know? It was like, guys, I've been fooling you this whole time. I'm sorry, you know. It was part of a giant scheme. It was part of a giant, elaborate kind of study I wanted to do on a group of children.
Him not being children at all.
Like, that would have been like, are you joking? You know, what's going on?
See that prank face? Shit.
I will say, a lot of people, the West is actually pretty knowledgeable. Like...
That's interesting.
Yeah, of all the people, he's the most you and him are the two most knowledgeable people I know about politics. Or when it comes to politics.
That's kind of like, because, you know, we're on both ends of the spectrum, you know, it's like the weird thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that actually makes sense, because if you think about it, someone who's like, usually people who are in the middle are like, you know, just like, that kind of makes sense. They usually don't really know a lot about one way or the other, so like, oh, I'm a centrist. Oh. I'm like, but it's like, why exactly? It's like, you know, it's like, oh, why are you centrist? You know, it's like, well, they're both bad. Oh, well, yeah, I bet you've heard that a lot, you know, buddy, you know, but do you know why, though? You know, it's like, well, Trump said bad things about Mexicans, you know, it's like, but what about his economic plans, though? It's like, what do you think about that? You know, like, no, just the Mexicans, it's like, well, and then Hillary, you know, like, you know.
Oh, Hillary's awesome. Man,
it's like no.
You should. I'm just curious, Bastion. In your classes, do you notice a lot of people more going towards Trump or Hillary, or when like the election was going?
Actually, well, this is the weird thing, right?
Yeah.
People who are for Hillary are usually really silent about it. That's the thing. People are like more for
Really?
Trump.
Really?
Yeah. Like, that's for me. That's in my classes.
Yeah, for me, in like
Same,
all of
actually.
okay. So the only class we really talk politics in is English, and it's not even like just because we're talking in the class. It's just random conversation, and it's
like
all
all
Hillary. Yeah, it's all Hillary.
Dang. What
Pretty
people
much.
are in your class? You know, I think it's the people.
It probably is. Jeez. Well, the
No, but, like,
biggest
who is-
one. The biggest one is Drew.
Drew.
So-
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't want to like, because you know, Ryan. Whenever I like make stereotypes, I know what stereotypes are. You know,
Yeah.
I know not to make things, but
Yeah.
I'm just
No,
saying
I know.
it's kind of funny when something does fall under a stereotype. You know.
Yeah, I know.
The
It's
thing
great.
is, I can say the same thing about Josh, Julian, and Zach, the Trump supporters. You know, in my class. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, Drew is like such a, like, you know, like he falls under all the Clinton like demographics, doesn't he? You
Yeah, I
know?
know.
And then like Josh, Julian, and
well,
Zach, you know, like kind of the
yeah.
assholes, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should say too. It's because he sits next to me. He sits like right behind me, so I hear him a lot. And you hear more like just up and down the entire class, just like random like things of like, oh no, Trump won, we're all gonna die, and stuff like that, just throughout like, the entire class. Yeah.
Oh no, man! I hear like Trump is actually really smart. He's gonna do really good. Man, Clinton is a criminal. I'm like, you know.
So,
well, yeah, I guess.
the only one that you hear from that is Wes. He's the only one in my class.
Yeah.
And then everyone like tries not to offend him because that's how it is nowadays.
Don't offend Wes, man. Okay, don't go up against Wes.
Oh, good shit on.
You know how that's just what's funny. Earlier we were talking about the whole don't want to be offensive. Yeah, that's pretty much right there. But
That was today.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's a sad
That.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how it is with in my English class.
This is disgusting.
That sounds interesting. Me and Wes should have a conversation.
Honestly, you guys should, because I think that would be very interesting.
Like,
Oh my
Star
god, he
Wars, and
killed
then, like,
everyone!
the thing is, I bet you so much if we're both objective, we would come to a really satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, Wes, if you approach him objectively, is a very good objective speaker, because him and Seth will talk a little bit like about politics objectively, and it's actually that's actually pretty interesting.
And bring up the ups and downs of both sides, you know? Like, you know,
Yeah.
even though, like, recently there's been, like, anti-intellectual, kind of, like, more censorship, authoritarian left, of course. But whatever happened to wanting equal rights for all people? Or
You know, those
whatever happened
classics?
to, like,
Hey, fuck you,
those
man.
class-
That's sadly that's the case how it is nowadays. Equal rights for everybody means that you gotta make it equal censorship. You can't say your
Equal
mind because it'll offend somebody else and it'll push them down. You can't have people pushing other
Nah,
people down.
the thing is,
That's
it's
how it
like...
works.
That's
I
a
don't
put down.
I don't like
know-
it either, but that's how it
No,
is.
no,
nowadays.
no. Like, but yeah, like that's what they think. But you know, you can say to them, you know, if you really think about it, wouldn't it be limiting, like, obviously their freedom of speech? Like, you have your own freedom of speech to say what you want. Like, you, like that person that doesn't want to be offended, you can. There's ways to point it out where they're offending random people. You know, you're offending
Yeah.
this person because you say
Yeah.
that. So what do you think
Yeah,
about that?
that's-
Maybe you should be censored. You know,
That's the sad
obviously
part.
they'll
is
say
that
no.
It's
Right?
it's speaking to deaf ears. That's the sad part.
The double standard.
You bet
Like,
it is.
you know what I'm
Beauty of
saying?
society.
So it's like, you freaking, I'd say everyone has their own freedom of expression, you know, 100%. And like, I'm like, so like completely against censorship, you know, of all ways, you know, it's really just like, you know, creating more ignorance amongst the public. You know, we should be able to hear, you know, everything out there.
Yeah.
And if like you want to close your ears to it, you know, that's just like being intentionally ignorant, you know?
Hey, fuck
Yeah.
you, man.
So.
Well, that's like the bad part about the left, but like, I don't know, I don't really know how prevalent it is, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
I don't know. I
that's-
know on Tumblr, you know, that's like the main thing, you know.
It seems pretty prevalent just from me looking at the news all the time.
Roasted.
Don't make me have to hurt you.
But like,
Oh, shit, we're a national game.
you know, like the thing is, it seems like things have changed so much, like in the past like 2 or 3 years for politics, Ryan.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, I remember, because I've been actually into it for a while. Like, I remember before, you know, it was the censorship authoritarian right, where it was like
Yep.
the religious groups, you know.
Yep.
like that wanted to like censor like anybody else, like Muslims or like people who were like agnostic or atheist, you know, like they would be censored, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like they would be like.
That's one of the things that I find really interesting is how the two have basically switched.
And it used to be, you know, hasn't it used to be the left that wanted freedom of speech, right? You know, that wanted like, no, because now because you know the establishment, right? The, like, you know what, like a populist, right, is like Bernie Sanders and Trump that want to go against like the establishment, like politics. It used to be the other way around. It used to be the liberals would want, you know, to you know, to go against the establishment Republicans, but now it's the establishment Republicans going against the populist Republicans.
That's why it was so interesting during the election time when old school Republicans would started to say that they would vote for Hillary, and old school Republican states started voting for Hillary.
Yeah, it's
that was why it was so
really
strange.
Yeah, no, it's weird. It really has to just go down to like the kind of like shut up, oh my god, I don't want to hear this stupid dialect.
The only thing that I can think it would go to is like maybe like well, I would say corruption is like the only thing I can think of really.
No, I was gonna say like one thing that correlates the two is that doesn't really have to do with the politics necessarily, but it's actually the what's the word I'm looking for? It's
that
like
media.
The way they go about it, but it's like the way they like their strategy almost, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like they're both like kind of like, it's hard to like to make a verb for being establishment, you know what I'm saying? For being there for a long time and not wanting like change, you know, having censorship, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like they're both there, you know. Like they're both like kind of in the same scenario. That's why they want to back each other, you know. So it's like weird how that works, because like that's how like that's like what I refer to like it as a lot of times, but I know it's like a lot different now. That's the thing. So it's like it's kind of like hard, you know, because still that precedent is still there for both, you know. But now it's like most people will shallow, because you know, like a lot of people, you know, like have just gotten into politics for this election, you know, so like they don't really know the past how it was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like a lot of people like Mark Martin, you know, he'll just be like, oh dude, man, the freaking Democrats have always been these corrupt, you know, like politicians, you know. It's like, well, I mean, if you look at like the ideology of liberalism, it's actually not even like it's actually way against that. That's the weird thing. Yeah. Like that's why, you know, I honestly like, people don't say this enough, but Hillary Clinton and like she's actually really, she's like a centrist. She's like center. She makes a lot of really like the policies that like liberals really hate, like especially like environmentalists and like people like Bernie Sanders, like quote unquote, you know, socialists, you know.
Yeah.
Like in fact, like I actually, there's like barely anything that Hillary Clinton does that's really liberal. Like maybe even just besides like raising the minimum wage, I don't know. Or like being the first woman president, I guess, but that's like not even a policy. That's like a carry.
Which for me, I think for me that goes along with the whole my perception of Hillary, which was that she just tried to get anything for a vote. She'd do anything for a vote.
The thing is, well, actually, are you gonna say anything else? You know?
No, that was pretty much it.
Well, the thing is, Ryan, like it was kind of like bullshit because like, so you know, like Hillary Clinton, you know, she's like pretty centrist, right?
Yeah.
During the primary, when she started actually losing a lot of votes to Bernie, and that's when she started bringing out the really like liberal, like that's when she started making all these claims, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna do what Bernie's gonna do, yeah, see that, yeah, but no one believed her, of course, you know, but like she tried to do that, you know, to get the vote, and then in the general election, once he was defeated, then she went back to her old ways, you know, going to like the mass audience. Yep, but that didn't win. That wasn't enough.
Yep, she tried her best, but no. Yeah.
Like the thing is, like it's weird because like all Democrats, I would say not all Democrats, but like the Democrats that like know a lot about politics are like, you know, the me and Seths, you know, like we don't like Hillary Clinton is just like a last resort, you know, against like Trump, which is like really nationalistic, you know, and is kind of like a lot of the attributes, you know, like Democrats like kind of like naturally don't like, you know, like build the wall, get these rapists out of here, followed up by the crowd saying like chanting USA, you know.
Yep.
So like that's great, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Hey, look, it's Zaphim. So, yeah. No, because I focus a lot on the social aspects of a lot of the politics. Like I know that's not what you're supposed to do. Like more like
well,
the social.
That's kind of vague. So like like elaborate a little bit.
So, the way you see politics, huh?
What?
Sorry. Okay. So the way I see politics, there's the actual policy side, you know, that goes with, you know, economics,
like their actual literal things they want to do, like the denotation.
Yeah. And then there's the social side, which is almost the image that the party portrays of itself or the candidate portrays of itself. And like with their overall tone and what they talk about.
I totally see what you're saying.
Yeah. And what
well, you know, in that case, so like that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, Ryan, I would say that's pretty, like, fairly practical. I mean, because, you know, like, both Hillary Clinton, well, no. Well, you know, that's really, because, you know, Trump, like, goes, like, about himself a certain way, you know, because he, like, to be honest, right, there is a lot of racist people in this country. And the people, like, that's a lot of, like, what is it called? Unharvested votes, you know? Yeah. The thing is, like, you know that Trump, like, before this election, like, in the 90s, he was actually liberal. That's the thing.
Yeah,
like, I feel like he's just doing this to get the votes.
He's been with 3 different parties. That's why it's like...
Yeah.
that was actually my whole reason, because I look at the personalities and on more than the actual reform policies. That was the reason I didn't like him as a candidate. Trump was basically like a loudmouth bully, and Hillary was almost like a puppet in a way. That was why I didn't like either one. That's why my answer is always I don't like either.
A literal definition of like a deceiving puppet, and not even a bully, Ryan, but like, you know, the thing is, like a lot of people like never really think about it this way, but you know, Hitler was democratically elected, and you know the same tactics he used, you know, Trump is using too. You know, scapegoating, you know, races of people, you know, wanting to build a wall, you know, blaming them for economic problems, you know, very nationalistic. You know, Hitler said, you know, Hitler, I'm pretty sure, like, I need to research this, and I need to actually, like, see, like, for the truth, but I'm pretty sure he had a slogan, like, similar to Trump's. Like, that's the thing. Like, we need to, bring
glory to the fatherland or something like that.
Yeah, bring glory to the fatherland, you know, like, make Germany great again, pretty much, you know, so it's he has to make it seem like, well, the thing is, at the time, you know, Germany was pretty, like, in pretty shitty shape. That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, a lot of times, like, Trump is making it seem like America is, like, getting destroyed, you know? Like, we're in ruins or something, you know? Which is obviously not true, you know?
Yeah.
That's, like, if I talk to a lot of Trump supporters, you know, like, and they're like, oh, dude, our freedom of speech is, like, 0. We live in, like, a dictatorship, you know? This is, like, we have no rights. I'm like, what? Ryan, I'm just curious, did you hear that, like, argument I had with Mark that one day, you know?
Oh, no, I actually turned my music up so I wouldn't have to hear it, because I was like, this is going to be the same stuff I hear all the time, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was like, Sebastian, you don't look around. We are, like, we have no rights. I'm like, at that point, my mind was blown. All right, I'm just
really quick, the part where he said, Sebastian, look around, I can immediately hear Mark's voice, anyway.
Yeah, you could. Sebastian, look around. And I was like, oh, okay. We have no rights. I'm like, at that point, my mind was blown, all right? There were a few times my mind was blown from Mark. Like, at one point, he said, like, there is literally no such thing as police brutality. It's just a myth created by Black Lives Matter. I'm like, what? You know, like, has the police never killed one person ever, you know, in a unjustified manner, you know, like, and I told Mark, because the thing is, I was trying to, like, appeal to him, not really necessarily, you know, beat him down with arguments. I was saying, you know, Mark, that police brutality affects white people as well, you know, it's not just for black people. It kind of affects everybody. They, like, you know, and he said, oh, yeah, that's true. So then police brutality does exist. No, it doesn't. I was like, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, just quick on the police brutality thing. I think that, like, the one best example of police brutality, did you remember that story of the doctors who shot a guy that was trying to, or cops that shot a guy that was trying to help an autistic kid?
Oh, I do remember that. He was like lying. Ryan, did you see the video? He was lying on the ground with his hands on the floor. He obviously didn't have a gun. They can see his hands the whole time, and they shot him anyways.
Yeah, and then he asked, "Why did you shoot me?" And the cop answers, "I don't know."
Yeah, he said, "I don't know."
Anyway,
no, Ryan, there are freaking worse videos than that. There are ones where it's like,
thinking of the major media.
Someone gets pulled over. It's like, get on the ground. It's like, what? It's like, hey, officer, I did nothing wrong. I have my. He's trying to say, I have my rights, and he's like, he's like, get out right now. 3, 2, and then he just stands there. He's like, no, I didn't. And he starts tasing him, and he's like, stop resisting while he's being tased. And he literally tases him. He sits there and tases him for like 60 seconds until he dies, and then he freaking just drags his dead body, you know, off like and splatters, you know, not splatters, but he just like slaps it on the ground, you know. Have you seen that one, or have you heard about it?
No.
Like that cop got like, well, obviously he got his license taken away, you know, thank God, you know, but still, you know, people say we shouldn't, you know, Ryan, like, shouldn't he not be charged for murder? You know, he literally just killed an innocent guy, you know, but instead he's just getting his license taken away.
Dude, he got scared. Seems legit.
He was so startled. He was spooked.
It's like, what the fuck, you know? That's like pretty awful. The thing is, like, and there are people like Mark that are like, no, police are great. You know, like, all police are benevolent. It's like, you know, come on. Not true. And obviously, you know, on the other side, some people like to say all police are insane sociopaths.
Yeah.
Not true either, you know.
It's hard to tell which I hate hearing more, honestly. Like.
Well, obviously, you know, police who kill people are a minority, you know.
Yeah, I know. So probably the whole place. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, basically the whole thing's a crapshoot, and it's been great. It's been a great like 8 months of just constant back and forth.
Like, it's pretty horrible. Like, the thing is, Ryan, like, now that we're having an open discussion, the thing is, like, what do you like, you know, when you talk about like, what is it, like, how they go about themselves? What's the word you used? It was a pretty good word. Like
personality, their social.
The way they go about themselves. Like, you look at the blank, you know.
You look at their groups they support at.
No, you used one word. It was pretty good. I was like, wow, that's never mind. You don't remember. Or it's like where you look at their personality and you look at, like, you know, in contrast to
how
their
they
policies.
handle them. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
Like, when you look at that, you know, like, what do you think about like Bernie Sanders then? You know.
Honestly, I liked his personality. However, it's like, granted, I had to have my like reserves because that's how I am as a person.
Yeah.
But like when I heard his personality, it's like, man, this guy's something. This guy's like
he's like a great guy, right? You know.
I did support him, but he seemed like a good person. However, I couldn't say anything about policies because I knew almost nothing. Because literally all I heard was, oh, he's a socialist.
Yeah.
But he seemed like a pretty good guy when he was very respectful and all that.
You know, the thing is, like, well, like, one thing too, okay, like, I want to go on another tangent. Do you have time, Ryan, you know? So sure, I'll save this one in the back of my mind.
I'm not planning on going to bed yet, so.
Alright, but, like, no, I respect that, you know, so it's like, so, you know, you don't know, like, a lot one way or the other, so it's like, alright, you know, I'm just not gonna support you, like, because if you're supporting him and he's actually wrong, you know, you don't want to anger the Republicans.
You better be able to back him up, basically.
And then if and if you like say, oh, he's awful, you know, then and he's actually right, you know, then it's like also gonna be bad. So, like, honestly, I actually find that pretty respectable, you know. And whenever people say, you know, I honestly don't know enough to say, you know, a lot better than what most people do is, they hear one thing.
Fuck down Trump! Fuck down Trump! Tyler. Fuck down Trump!
No, but like. You know, like, but you know, Ryan, that there is like a huge, like what is it called? A huge gap between like the wealth of like the super mega rich and everybody else.
Of course.
You know, that's basically what his whole thing is going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it ridiculous? Like, the thing is, one thing I like that, if you looked at, you probably haven't, well, I don't know, maybe. But like, the thing is, like, Bernie Sanders, like, his first ever speech is, like, during the early primaries. Like, what he was mainly trying to do, he was more focusing on, like, the logos part, because he gave mostly statistics, you know, in his thing, like, Like, have you heard like the top like 10% of the top 1%? They own like just as much as the bottom 50% of people in the U.S. like wealth.
I believe it. Yeah.
And then it's like the top 1%, like just the 1%, not the top 10th of 1%. The 1% own as much as the 99%. You know?
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Well, that's stats that I've heard before prior to the election.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So then it's like that, you know, combined with like the fact that, you know, it's like minimum wage. You can't live off of that. Like, it's like so hard, you know, like you'd have to buy like an apartment with like 5 other people, you know, and like some people, like grown adults, have to like feed a family off of that, you know. So it's like why he's like, oh, dude, socialism.
Yeah. We're getting wrecked so badly.
And I don't know, one argument I give like for universal or like free college, you know, free college tuition, right?
Yeah.
So you know how a lot of people like what are the counter arguments you hear about you know free college? Like,
no, I've only heard one like once, so I honestly don't remember, because that's one that I don't hear a lot about.
Oh really? Well, the ones I hear all the time, those freaking lazy liberals, they just want free stuff. And they also say, oh,
I've never heard that actually. That's pretty good.
No, dude, it's fucking awful. Like all because like there's a site, Ryan, where you like discuss political issues, and that's like the other side. I have a feeling it's because it's anonymous they get to say that, you know.
Yeah.
But that they say that a lot, dude. The right. So it's like, yeah, they want free stuff all the time. I'm like, well, you know, it's like, oh, you want free stuff? You know, well, nothing's free, buddy.
So, well, first off, who doesn't want free stuff? I just want to throw it out there after that.
Yeah, like, that's true. Well, they kind of want to go as like, oh, I work hard for all my shit or whatever.
Yeah.
I was going to say, well, you do know, well, did you go to elementary school? Did you, huh? You know, that was free, right? The thing is, you know, when like in other countries where you have to pay for primary school, they say the same thing. They say, oh, well, actually, no, one more thing. They also say, oh, dude, but we can't make college free. If they make college free, that means going to college will be meaningless. I'm like, first of all, how does it won't be meaningless because everyone will be more educated. Well, I kind of see how. There's kind of like an assumption of like inflation with like if you just make college free, then everyone will go to it. You know what I'm saying?
So I can understand that one because the whole idea is that
it takes
or that when you have a job, you know, like going to college is like a helpful thing, you know. And so it's like everyone can go, then it's not. It's like you're less likely to get the job and so all that. But,
yeah. Like that totally makes sense, but it's like.
It's pretty flawed to be that extreme with it. Anyway.
Yeah. Like no. Like that's like an argument I hear a lot too. Like it'll be meaningless. Like well, the thing is, it's like will elementary schools, you know, be meaningless? Like you know, if we make it so everyone is at elementary school. But it's like, but I see for college, you know, for getting jobs and whatnot.
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, if everyone has more jobs, then it'll actually stimulate the economy. Because it's like, if you invest in like getting everyone an education, then they're gonna go out and get more jobs, you know. And they're gonna like make more businesses, you know, presumably, you know. That's the thing too. And like, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like one more thing they say. They say like, I know those are honestly like the two big ones.
Yeah.
But it's like. Okay, so another thing I wanted to say, you know, like, what do you hear about like Barack Obama? You know, mostly good things, because I'm assuming, yeah. Except for like Obamacare, probably.
Obamacare's a big one. Like once the election started, I haven't heard much from Obama like for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Like. Not even joking, Ryan. Like, I have a feeling you won't even believe me when I say this, but like, you should go on. It's called YouGov. It's where it's like you get to anonymously discuss politics with other random people online. Okay. Yeah, it sounds great, right? Literally, like the whole conservative side, like not the whole. Okay, I don't want to like generalize, but many of them, which they get like the most likes in some situations. Dude, Obama, that communist, oh man, he is a Muslim hiding as a Christian in the US. He is from Kenya. He never gave his birth license, you know, his birth certificate, I mean, you know, it's like, I know, it's just like he people living on?
Go any past that argument without evidence, and there's basically none to support any of it. So,
like, I always say, you know, that he did give his birth certificate, right? Like, I'm just curious, you know, and then I give them like the page, the Obama's website page where he had to post his birth certificate, because you remember when that went on.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, say that, and it's like, you know, Obama goes to like, he goes to church, you know that, right? A Christian church, and you know that his dad wasn't even Muslim. His dad was actually a Christian who lived in Kenya. It's like, oh well, no, he loves ISIS though. It's like, oh, why? Do you have any evidence, buddy? Well, you just have to look around. You just have to
look around, Sebastian.
Get
No, they literally say like, oh, have you not? You just deluded by the liberal media. I'm just like, but
yeah.
Do you have evidence though? Oh no, only the pure-sighted who can see the fact that Obama's a Muslim. It's just,
there you go.
You know, at that point, like I wish, the thing is, I feel like they should like teach in school like more so that, you know, how to argue, you know, and having a burden of proof and everything. Like, I feel like that'll help out a lot, you know.
That's what we're learning right now.
At a national level, yeah. Like AP English, AP language and English. I feel like they should teach it in like elementary school though, because like not all people take AP language and composition.
Yeah.
No, but like, you know, Obama was actually a pretty good president. That's the thing. Like I would honestly say like he was probably the best president out of like the past like 3 or 4 presidents we've had. Like the thing is, as like a person who's liberal, all right, Bill Clinton was actually pretty bad, and like there's actually many reasons.
Right here. Like, that's why I've always mentioned it, because he had like one of the highest what's it called, popularity, like one of the highest. Yeah, he had like a stupid high, like, what's that stat called? Like basically where they say, you know, this guy's a good president, and they give
like where they pull the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like approval rating.
Approval rating, yeah. He had like he had like a super high approval rating at one point. And I was like, what? Really?
What, did it drop or something?
Not within his presidency, granted. Maybe after that scandal, but
it's like,
I don't think so.
Strange.
Yeah, that's why I've always wondered. I'm like, why is that? Because from all I've heard, he was terrible.
So it's like strange. Maybe people, I've actually thought about that before. Isn't that like, it's like so weird. It's like people don't even realize what's going on until after it happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the thing is, like, the reasons I would say Bill Clinton was a pretty bad president is like, you know, well, like you do, because, you know, like a lot of times, you know, a lot of Republicans will like refer to like Reaganomics or lowering taxes for the extremely wealthy, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, that's actually like, you know, that's actually proven not to work in many instances. Like, you know that, like, when FDR was in presidency, right? He like raised taxes like super high for everybody, you know, and like that, like, you know, kind of, and like he also did the banks, you know, he like fixed all the banks to where like they won't crash anymore, you know, and we had like the economic boom of the 50s and whatnot. Yeah. But like it slowly gotten like taken down and like reversed, you know, with like Ronald Reagan, you know, and like actually Bill Clinton, like they've actually, ever since Ronald Reagan, like every president has been lowering taxes, you know, for like the wealthy and like kind of for everybody. Like that's actually a thing like most people don't talk about. All right. Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of weird. Even Bill Clinton, a so-called, you know, liberal, which is weird, you know, like, so he did that, you know, so that's great, you know. So then like we have like less money, you know, they start to become like they start to become really wealthy, you know, and then like monopolies start happening, you know, like that's the thing, you know, like the Sherman Act, like where it's like in the 1920s, you know, banning monopolies, you know, that it was repealed. Like, did you even know that? Like, yeah, no, not by Clinton, actually, like by, no, it was by Ronald Reagan, but like Bill Clinton, like, no, but like, did you know that?
I did hear. Yeah, actually, I remember hearing that it was repealed at some point.
Like it was such a good idea, you know. Like, how can they repeal that? Like in the public eye, that's the thing. Yeah. Like also, like I bet you've heard this before. That like, you know how it's like. Have you heard the U.S. has more people in prison than like any other country?
I think I've heard that. Yeah.
Like it's because like what Bill Clinton did was he made like I think he was the one who made marijuana like a what is it called? A
like
felony.
on the federal list of
Yeah, like as he made it a felony, and then he started like mass incarcerating anyone who's like smoked marijuana like at a huge rate. Like it's the like the weird thing is he would like target mostly like inner cities, you know, where like a bunch like where mostly like minorities live.
Yeah, because that way you can get those numbers saying it was a huge success, you know?
Yeah, you know, so it's like, which is weird because apparently like people say, oh dude, he was so good with black people or something like that. Like, you know, that's like the most ironic thing ever, you know? Yeah. So like that's like a huge problem. Actually, the thing is, Mark actually brought that up, and I was like, yeah, Mark, you know, like I didn't say Bill Clinton was a good president at all, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of bad, like when it's like I don't know, like even when it's like there are like presidents that like claim to be on your side, they still won't like you know they still will be like kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like. And then we all like so like I'm saying George Bush and then like no and then okay I'm going too fast here, all right? So that was like Bill Clinton, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like George Bush, you know, started the war in Iraq, you know. Like a lot of people say too, like for the free college, right? Like for Bernie Sanders is like, oh, it'll cost way too much money. A lot of times they'll be like, oh yeah, Bernie, that's a great idea, but how are you gonna pay for that, huh? You think you're just gonna get the money out of thin air or something, Bernie? Are you a madman? You know, like what is this? Well, obviously what he's gonna do is he's gonna raise taxes, you know? Like a lot of times it's weird because I feel like Republicans like don't even know what taxes are. They're like, oh, these horrible taxes stealing our money. It's like, you know, taxes actually have a purpose, right? Like they're not just
I think it's just like most people in general don't like taxes. They don't understand the importance of them. Like,
because the thing is, it's like really fast. It's like, you know, that taxes don't just take money away from you. It gives back to you in a way. Like it pretty much just pays for like the government funded like parks and roads, you know, and school and whatnot.
Yeah. That's kind of like how something that my my dad and I talk about, because this is more recent things, has to do with sports. One of the teams, the Oakland Raiders, is currently trying to get a stadium in Vegas, and they want to stay in Oakland because Oakland has their fan base and they have all these dedicated fans. And the fans like, oh, we have to keep the Raiders in Oakland, but the only way to keep them in there is to put a special tax that makes it so they can build a new stadium. But none of them, but like it was like a really low vote to pay the tax. And so it's one of those things where it's like, do people not realize
the stadium
that
didn't get votes?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like that's kind of like I see. So that's kind of like a thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's like so weird. Like the thing is like, where are you gonna get that money, Bernie? Huh? The funniest thing about that is so like to pay for everybody each year, like all people who want to go to college, right? You know how much it would cost? Well, it would cost $68 billion, right? For everyone in the U.S. who wants to go to college for free. Okay, it's kind of, if you think about it, that's a lot of money, right? For the college, for a government, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, you know, like that's great and all, but you know how much money we lost during the Iraq War? A whopping, all right, $1.7 trillion. It kind of like, you know, makes free college so minuscule and so like small. People don't ever ask Trump how much his wall is going to be, you know?
I think a lot of it has to do just because of in U.S. history, the whole taxation and representation. Everybody sees taxes as being like evil because of that.
Representation. So. Yeah, that's true. Like it's such a long time though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, yeah, it's a stupid reason. It's a stupid reason, but that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, like it's been going on from generation to generation so long. That precedent.
We always teach it as like as you know, this is why the U.S. further from England.
Yeah, let's see, taxes. Well, let me think. What's like do people think when it's like, oh, taxes? The government? No, I think it's like, you know how it's like a lot of Republicans don't like big government.
Yeah.
No, it's like taxes. Oh, government's trying to take my money once again. You know.
Yeah.
It's like. The thing is, a lot of times I feel like, Republicans think we live in kind of like some kind of post-apocalyptic society or something. Like, you know, it's like the guns, you know, it's like, oh, we gotta have guns, because, oh, dude, Zach pissed me off one day, because we were talking, and it's like, well, Zach's a Republican, and it's like, Zach, well, I was like arguing with Zach, I was like, you know, Zach,
Zach,
you know, so like Republicans, they don't want, you know, like,
nice response,
their,
bro.
like, people's rights to have, like, an abortion or something, or, like, kill, like, a unborn fetus, but, you know, they do want people to have the right to kill other full-grown, citizens, you know, with guns, you know? Or it's like, or the thing is, it's like, Zach actually made the argument, he said, well, Sebastian, without guns, how are we going to defend ourselves against, the U.S.? I was like, against the government, I was like, he said that, and I was like, what?
Nice.
Is that Zach Packett?
No, Zach, the Zach we know.
Damn it.
Like,
you're retarded, bro. I'm sorry.
But how are we going to defend ourselves against the big government if they try and take over? It's like with a militia. Like,
there you go.
It's so silly because, like, you know, there's no need for a militia literally anymore, right? Like,
yeah.
What do you think? A bunch of like hillbillies with like with pistols are gonna freaking take down our government? You know, take down the biggest military in the world. You know? I don't think so.
For me, my issue with the whole guns argument, my only issue is the fact that, like the criminals that you have to worry about coming into your house, stealing your stuff, you know, all that.
Yeah,
like,
that's so true.
The true serious ones are going to be able to get guns illegally, whether it be over the border or something like that. That's my issue with the whole gun argument. Other than that, though, it's like...
Yeah, the thing is, like, I'd say that's a legitimate point made by Republicans. Like, what are you going to do if someone breaks into your house? Well, like, what they all have to know is, you know, that's like the, you know, like the chances of that happening, you know, like, first off, are like, so it's very, very, very small. But if that does happen, like, that's true, you know, you should have a gun to defend yourself, right? Like, the thing is, like, that's true, like the thing is, like, a big straw man, like a huge straw man, in fact, is that they say they want to take all of our guns away, right? Like, have you heard that? You know? Like, the thing is, I don't think any Democrat, like, ever in, like, 200 years could do that. Like, you know, that's, like, so far off. Because, like, all they want to do now is just regulate it, and apparently that's, like, you know, too hard to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, they just want to make it so, like, well, first, you know, this is what they really want to do is make it so, like, sociopaths, you know, can't buy guns, and, like, potential, like, terrorists and potential, like people who have had a criminal record can't buy a gun. I'd say that's pretty, like, I don't know, I'd say that's pretty, what is it, reasonable, you know? And the thing is, it's like, the death toll, like, with guns, obviously, in, like, countries like Europe, where they have, like, extreme regulations on guns, is, like, super, super low.
Yeah.
You know, like, normal people can't just shoot up, like, a school or something, or, like, can't, because a lot of times, like, because, like, I would say about, like, half, like, the kills from guns are from, second-degree murders, you know? So it's, like, so it's where it's not planned out, it's where it's, like, in the moment, right? If that happened, it would have been, like, a lot, harder to do with a knife, you know? They can run away, because you know, with a gun, a person can't run and call the police, you know? They can't run for help, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, like, it makes it so easy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of like it. I'm getting kind of tired. Well, I'm not gonna get off, of course, but, like, I'm just saying.
Yeah. As far as talking.
But, like,
emotionally,
I think it's like, like, still though. I mean, I feel like the thing is, I think it's just because of, like, really crazy, like, Republicans. Like, they don't give Bernie enough credit, you know? Like he's like the thing is, I actually don't think I'm gonna get a better candidate, like, in a long time, you know, for, like, the liberal side of things, you know? Like, he literally, like, his biggest thing, well, he wants to end corruption, you know? Is that, like, fucking awful? Like, that was, like, his biggest thing. Like, he wants to take money out of politics, you know? That was, like, his main thing against Hillary Clinton. Is that she's, like, a puppet of, like, really, really wealthy donors, you know?
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is, like, a representation of those wealthy people. He literally is those wealthy people, you know? But it's like, nah, socialist. Dude, socialist, man. That is like, so that's like USSR right there. That's like Nazi Germany. You can't have socialism.
I love me some Nazis.
Dude, like, do you hear that? Like, I hate when I hear that so much, because it's like, that's such a ignorant statement. like, you know that is literally the only country you can think of socialist is the communist Russia. Oh, it was so bad because it was socialist, not because it was run by a dictatorship, run by a sociopathic, you know, like autocratic leader. Of course, that's not it. It's because it's socialist, you know.
Yeah. Or the fact that, you know, it's communist, and the fact that they had crazy reforms that basically killed everybody.
Like, yeah, like they couldn't produce enough food because it was communist. That's the thing. Is like first off, people get like socialism mixed up with communism. And usually people will, like, the only examples they'll give is like Nazi Germany and like communist countries. They won't say like modern Europe or Canada, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, people won't say this, but you know that in the, you know, going back to like FDR, dude, he was like super socialist, like 101, you know?
Yeah.
Like he would like do crazy socialist things that they wouldn't allow today. Like he raised taxes like so high, you know, and he would like, you know, he would like, you know, take out the monopolies that the banks had. You know, he would like, you know, what was it? He would make it so they're like run by the government. Like I don't know, there's like a word for it.
Federal run.
Yeah, like a federal. They're like federal banks, you know, that are like well regulated and not like libertarian, where it's like the banks can be free to do whatever they want, you know.
Yeah. Also, shout out to libertarians.
Yeah. The thing is, oh, Ryan, I don't know, like, because I didn't really send it to you, because, like, I didn't know if you would care enough to know, but, like, there's, like, this cool website, where it's, like, you answer a bunch of questions, and it, like, shows, like, what your percentage for all the different candidates are, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's, like, for Bernie, I got, like, 97, you know, like, Joe Stein got, like, 94, like, Clinton got, like, 80-something, and then for Gary Johnson, I got, like 70-something, and for Trump, got, like, 2.
Nice.
No, but Gary Johnson, yeah, I would even rather have than like Clinton. He was actually not even bad at all at this point. Like honestly, you know, not bad at all. Like that's the thing. Well, how did like it's so strange because how did we elect someone with no experience, you know, who's an asshole, who is like who literally, you know, alienates whole groups of people, you know? How did we get that out of like all the candidates?
I think it's for the exact reason why we said earlier, the whole, you know, people are tired of dealing with like the system.
Yeah.
Which again is funny considering it's, you know, which parties, but still.
Yeah. No, I like the thing is like I was thinking about it, and there's like some legitimate appeals to Trump, but like a lot of times, like if this is the thing, Ryan. This is like how I see it. If you really, really actually legitimately love Trump, if you think he's a really great guy, or if you think that about Clinton, like either way, if you really think either candidate is great, then they're freaking, those people are crazy. Those people are like have a wrong way, you know?
Yeah.
Like people say, oh dude, Trump, he's like beautiful. He's gonna make our nation great again. Oh dude, he's the person we've always needed, you know? Like, no, you're like so off, you know what I'm saying? Though I can see maybe the appeal that like Trump is like what is it? What's that word that's like safe spaces and like censorship? What's that word? Political correctness, you know, that he's against political correctness. He wants to end the reign of the establishment, Democrats, you know. I can see that, you know. But like the thing is, it's not even that hard to beat Clinton, because I can totally see that and I would go for that, but I wouldn't go for like extreme nationalism and like, you know, oh, those rapists need to get out of our country and they're ruining it, you know? What the hell? And like, of course, you know, he's still gonna raise like lower taxes on the wealthy, you know. He's still going to like raise the military budget, even though it's bigger than Russia's and China's combined, you know.
Man, we're friends with Russia now, so that's good.
Oh yeah, well, like, that's the thing.
Literally,
did you
like,
know that, right? Putin actually said, like, oh, you know what? Now that Trump's president, I like Trump. Maybe we can have friendly.
It's kind of funny. So, like, literally, as soon as the election was over, like that night, Michael like texted me like right after that, and he was like, "Ryan, good news. We're not gonna get nuked by Russia now." And I'm like, "Oh, hey, that's pretty good news."
The thing is, I think maybe even that alone, Trump would be worth it. Because Clinton wanted to do the opposite. She wanted to make a no-fly zone. Have you heard of that? Where it's like, if Russia even passes through like any kind of border we set, then we're gonna start war. It's like, what the fuck? Are you crazy, Clinton?
Dang. Dang.
Then, well, it's not start war explicitly, but it's like we're gonna take
Pretty
extreme course of action or something like that.
Oh, boy.
So yeah, that would be awful.
Again, what a lot of people just want to hear is, you know, take action.
Yeah. It's like, oh, dude, you know what I really want? A nuclear war? Oh, bro, I've been waiting.
Dude, I've been playing the realistic Fallout 4 mod for the last like year.
Dude, I'm so hyped.
Yeah, I've been training.
You need to get that going. You know, it's like that. Okay, and I don't know. One more thing I want to talk about, or maybe, is that like, what do you hear about like? We hear about like freaking I don't know, overall like global, you know, environmental I don't know, what is it called? Well, no, like not climate, because like it's more than just climate change. You know, that's the thing. There's more factors that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the extinction of like species like bees that pollinate like all like plants and whatnot that kind of maintain, what is it called? There's a certain word that's like maintenance, but for the world, it's like sustainability. Yeah, world global sustainability. Yeah. Like, what do you hear about that, or what are your personal thoughts on that?
I don't know enough to give an opinion. I really don't. I'm not
But it's
super
like,
proactive in figuring out about that.
The
Oh, you
thing
mean
is,
as far as
it's
just like one, like you mean? Oh, I see what you mean.
like
as far
oil
as, like,
spills, you know, from like big factories, you know, and like methane like spills and whatnot. You know.
I mean, I would say it's definitely important to look for, because you can't just want to kill everything on the planet. You know.
Yeah. The thing is, like objectively saying here, Ryan, I'm not like trying to start anything, of course, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like especially important to me, like, well, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I actually want the human race to live for like a long time, you know, maybe like close to like forever, you know, maybe, I don't know, like if we can maybe somehow create an artificial sun, you know, in the distant future, I don't really know, you know, but it's like for now, for like I kind of want, you know, us to survive long enough, you know. The thing is, like, especially for me, because like I'm like an agnostic atheist, you know, I don't believe in like going to afterlife, you know, this is all we have, you know. I kind of want all my history to be here, because like if I die, that's it.
I want to try and figure out so that way I don't have to deal with that. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, so it's like I don't just get to go to heaven and be all happy afterward, you know. This is all we have. We can't just ruin it, you know.
Yeah, I think
So
I think that it should definitely regulated, and we should try and deal with it. But I feel like a lot of people make too much of a big deal over a lot of that as well. Like some people are saying like, oh, like the Earth, it's like, oh, it's like, oh, if there's another oil spill, like the Earth is just gonna crack in half, and it's like,
yeah, those people are kind of crazy. Like,
yeah.
But the thing is, it is bigger than most people think, though. That's the thing. People say, oh, it's just a natural thing. Like, we're not taking enough action, because the thing is, like, if we think about it, like with all this, the Earth is like kind of slowly decaying. It's kind of awful, you know. It's like at this rate, you know, like well, I don't know if we're gonna, you know, because like the ice caps are melting, you know, or like water, you know, or access to clean water is like going down slowly, you know. Like the African population is skyrocketing, you know. We have like bees dying at a mass rate, you know. Like the Earth is getting hotter, creating more, you know, monsoons and whatnot. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's like there's a lot of things happening. And, you know, the thing is, a lot of people say, oh, dude, have you ever heard global warming is a myth?
Oh, of course. Well, I know the whole, well, are you talking straight up myth or the natural cycle?
Yeah, I guess the straight up cycle, you know. Or the it's actually the cycle versus human created global warming.
Yeah. Then yeah.
It's like, well, actually, believe it or not, this a small minority that you probably haven't heard about actually does believe it's a myth. You know, but that's not actually what I'm talking about. Yeah,
it's been a few years since I've heard that one, but
yeah. The thing is, it's like a lot of people don't know this, but actually, 97% of scientists, 97, believe it is created by humans. Not created by humans, but it is being impacted straight from human interactions with the Earth. Yeah. So it's like that's a pretty viable source, I would say, you know. Like maybe we should listen to these like scientists who know what they're talking about than like, you know, than like establishment like politicians, you know, who just are bobbed by like oil companies.
Yeah. Honestly, and this isn't necessarily related in a lot of ways, but I think this is like that perfect time. This is that perfect time for technological development that the country needs.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, the thing is, like, yeah, no, the thing is, like, I feel like I've actually thought about that before, because you know how it's like, you know how we're in like this kind of like new age of like development. You know how there's the industrial revolution and stuff, and the atomic age. Now we're in like the information era with like computers. I feel like we need like a modern president. You know what I'm saying, to deal with this. You know what I'm saying?
Like for the kind of like how Kennedy was back in the '60s and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like how like I don't know, or like let me think, or maybe like how Theodore Roosevelt. I don't know. Did anyone really like do anything with the industrial era explicitly?
To help it or to hurt it?
Well, I mean, did they what president interacted like with it the most, do you think? Or is
Teddy
it most
Roosevelt.
well known for? Yeah, I was gonna say Teddy Roosevelt. You know, muckraking and whatnot.
Muckraker and all that. Yeah.
Like, I feel like we need like a modern president. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, it's weird. Because did you know like the laws like passed by Congress actually don't correlate to what the actual people want, which is kind of sad.
I can believe it.
Like have you heard that before? It's like, you know, so it's like we need a new president that'll like, or maybe that's like maybe Trump, but like probably, you know, like we need someone who's not like who hasn't been here for like 30 years. Like we need someone who's like really knowledgeable of like this potential. You know what I'm saying? That like, you know, like bring us like to the next era, you know, effectively.
Yeah.
Like, which is why I'm thinking like Bernie.
Yeah, so again, just really quick, this isn't necessarily correlated, but fun fact, did you know that I think, I believe this is the case, that like, I think it was maybe 4 years ago, an actual like hydrogen, or what's it called, hydrofuel engine was created.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And then what?
Ford bought it, and
Ryan, I've heard about that before. That was actually in the 80s. Yeah.
Oh wow! Well, I'm talking about a new one that apparently was completely efficient and was completely like instantly usable.
Really? There was actually another one, because I actually researched it. There was another one like a whole engine run completely on water. It was actually water. That was the one in the 80s. It was actually run completely on steam, and like it was actually really effective. And they were gonna actually sell it for like millions, but it was bought out by Ford and destroyed. You know, it was pretty awful. You know, like, because it would damage, you know, their monopoly they have on cars. You know, it would have to make them change, you know, our reliance on oil. You know.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, you know, we should just make it so it's like the government makes like an incentive to switch to more productive, you know, resources. You know, like, you know how revolutionary that would be if like we took it to its full potential.
Yeah.
Like they would literally go from like today's standards to like a future like ultimate society, you know, like just with that alone.
Yeah, you know what's actually kind of funny? This whole like idea, again, another tangent, sorry, but this whole this idea, ironically from the other side of the political perspective, but like exactly what we're saying, but it's more of a Republican point of view, is Atlas Shrugged. You know, the book I talk about a lot.
Actually,
their
well,
world is
I'm not like too familiar with the book, so like you have to explain a little bit.
Well, basically, so it's like the whole idea is that like the world's crumbling around them, and eventually they find out that there was a guy who created a perpetual motion, and not a perpetual motion. It was some kind of engine that worked off of that efficiently used static electricity to charge itself, to be self-charging. And the whole idea is that, you know, they want to find this guy and all this and stuff like that. But it's just something like that. It's like the whole, you know, the world's dying and we need to fix it. Or not.
Is Atlas Shrugged the one where it's like there's like a like an island? Is it the one with the island of like survivors where it's like they're like really elite or something like that?
I do love me some Lost.
No, but it's like a really developed island or something of like skyscrapers.
It's a valley. It's actually a very underdeveloped valley where they just kind of live in a very capitalistic society. You don't have to worry about being like considered greedy or stuff like that, and they can just basically progress technology to natural relate rate.
Yeah.
They can earn, yeah, very interesting. Anyway.
You know, yeah. Is that it? Well, the thing is, like, I totally see the appeal of, like, republicanism, you know? It's like, and I feel like it actually, as a matter of fact, I feel like it would actually work not too bad if it wasn't for the fact that there's, like, I was gonna say monopolies. That's like the only thing stopping it from being really successful is the fact that, like, eventually, because, you know, like money is usually acquired exponentially. At a point, you know, like, it'll become so where, like whoever had that what is it
Fuck me.
like fuck the chance, what is it, the word, it's like the opportunity, whoever had the opportunity to get the money first, they're already way ahead and they're already making like more money than like other people can, you know, in like their whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, so after, like, it's kind of funny, there was like a little flash game, it's called Capitalism in a Nutshell or something like that. It's where, like, it's like online, and it's where, like, everyone's stick figures, right? There's like 10 stick figures, right? So think about it like this, right? So, like, picture this. And money, like, falls uniformly from, like, the top of the screen and falls down. So, like, you have to jump and get the money, and each dollar bill you get that falls, you get bigger, right? And so it makes it easier to get more money, right? So it's like, usually if you get $1, you know, it'll be easier to get $2 and then $3, and then whoever missed the first dollar, you know, is gonna be like left behind, and eventually it gets so like 2 people are just really big and everyone's really small, you know. It actually works out pretty ironically.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like interesting. So it's like, the thing is, it's like, you know, I can totally see that, like, even like trickle down theory, which is like, if we lower taxes on the rich, then they're gonna give back to the company, right?
Yeah, but
like
people find money as a very objective thing, so they want to keep it forever for themselves.
Actually, yeah. The thing is, that would totally work great in theory, but they're forgetting the fact that the rich people, they're forgetting the fact that instead of investing it back into their business, they're not just gonna pocket it, you know, and then buy themselves a nice big mansion,
Lamborghini.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's such a huge flaw. Like, I don't know how people can believe that, you know what I'm saying?
Like the whole that without, or that, you know, that doesn't exist.
Like the fact that it relies so much, like, the fact that, like, they forget so easily that people can't, like, that the people who are benefiting from the trickle down theory won't just freaking keep the money, you know? It's like based on an assumption that they'll just give back to it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it's hard to, because the thing is, I actually feel like people won't actually, like, believe it, like, anymore, like, as they would in the 80s, but that, like, already the politicians will just, like, you know, go through with it because they're already bought, and, like, the public won't, they won't even know what that means, so they'll just vote for it or something like that.
Yeah. Trickle, I like water. I'll vote for it.
Yeah, trickle. Yeah. Oh, dude, that sounds pretty good. Trickle down, like, the rich people will give back to us. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah, but the thing is, like, with all this, you know how it's like, oh, dude, Republicans hate Democrats, Democrats hate Republicans, you know, ETC, or ECT, whatever, etc.
ETC.
It's like, you know, there's still, like, things we both have in common that we can both fight for. That's the thing. Is that all these, there are, like, you know, that there are a lot of laws that take away freedom of speech, like what's one, for example, like hate speech is one, you know, you can't do hate speech, or like disorderly conduct. What is this? Disorderly conduct, that's a law, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you ask both Democrats and both Republicans both claim to be for, like, freedom of speech, right? And freedom of expression, apparently.
Yeah.
Then, like, we can literally both go for that instead of our differences.
Yeah.
Or it's
Landing
like,
was pretty good, but like,
I don't know, what else do you think, like, we both have in common that aren't, you know...
California,
like,
California.
I have to think about this for a second. See, because California has everything in it. I don't know. I can't. I can't just think about this right now.
I remember one night I was thinking about it for a while, and I like thought of like a couple, like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, did you know, Ryan? Even more so Republicans than Democrats want money out of politics. Like, want to make it so like people can't be bought by big donors. Can you believe that?
I actually can, because the business mindset is that you don't want to give your competition a head up, or you don't want any kind of a disadvantage. So, and so for Republicans, if they're rich, they're not going to want some other guy who, like, their arch rival or whatever. Yeah, and so he'll buy a politician that will hurt them.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Yeah, like, it's weird because you know how it's like conventionally, or like what we know from history is that like Republicans more so than not like want to benefit like the wealthy, and Democrats want to benefit like the poor, you know.
Yeah, generally speaking.
But even with that, like more so Republicans than Democrats, and of course Democrats want it too. That would be one thing like we can both want, is that to take corruption out of politics. That's like something like super obvious, but it's not getting done, you know.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, sometimes I think if it's like so obvious and everyone wants it, how come it's not getting done? Is it because it's like so hopeless, or it's because like maybe we don't even live in a democracy?
I think a lot of it has to do with the psychological aspect of politicians, because a majority of politicians are unknown sociopaths. You know, like you know how it's like the sociopaths, like they become business people and politicians.
Yeah, I totally see the Machiavellians. You know.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that it's just all those sociopaths are not gonna be able to see like the better of. They're not gonna be able to see like what helps society a lot more, in a lot of cases. You know.
Yeah, I see that, but I'm actually more going for like if like the common man, if like the actual people, not the politicians, see that, they won't really do it. Won't really mean anything, because we can't vote for laws. You know what I'm saying? With only the sociopaths we elected will, you know, which is like the bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? It's not a great thought there, you know.
Yeah, just because the sociopaths usually have very good charisma, so they can.
So they can get those high positions to screw over the person that elected them, you know?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, dude, what a great system. I don't know. The thing is, like, I don't know if I'd be taking, like, too a controversial view on this, but, like, wouldn't a literal democracy be, like, not too shabby, you know, if it's, like, if people have to get I think if they upped the requirements to get a voting license, if you have to have a political science degree, like anyone with a political science degree and like more information about it can like choose the laws that are voted instead of like just a small amount of like.
The problem with that, Sebastian, is that then you get into the original Federalist argument of the more educated should vote, and that ruins out a large majority who, for some reason or another, can't get educated. So that's why it's like there's a lot of process that has to go in before you can reach that point.
Wait. Like, I think I totally see what you're saying, but, like, can you, like, elaborate on that, like, really fast,
so,
you know?
When you say so you said that anyone who has a political, okay, so let me just get straight, let me see if I understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
Those who know about the state of the country and those who know about politics should be the ones to vote who have a political science degree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, that then it kind of disenfranchises the ones that aren't.
Yeah, because if you have a lot of people who could easily see the country around them, but they couldn't get some kind of degree, for whatever reason, whether it be money or opportunity or whatever, then you know
I totally see that.
That's the issue.
Oh yeah, I was actually going under my own like assumption. Like I should have said before that like it should be like readily available for anyone to get the degree if they so want to.
Yeah, that was what I figured. That's why I said that you would have to have you had to have conditions prior to set up where it would be available to everybody.
I feel like there has to be like a formula. If we had like a free education, you know, like because you know, like as much as we are, Ryan, into politics and whatnot, not all people are, believe it or not. Some people just wanted to, like, I don't know, it makes me nervous or something, or like they're like, you know, I don't know. It's like I don't really care for that or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have, like, not everyone has to vote. Like, you know what I'm saying? Only, like, but if you want to, you should be able to have, like, if you really want to, you should be able to have a bigger,
oh my god,
decision, you know, in what happens than just, like, a small amount of people who've been, like, already in office for, like, 10 years, you know?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court or whatever, their whole life.
Yeah. Dang it, I was gonna say something.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would...
Yeah.
That like
No,
obviously that's just in theory. So I don't know how it would actually work out in real
I would
life.
say
But...
back to the whole how you said we should have actual democracy. The problem with actual democracy is that it's very hard to I want to say regulate. I don't know, or maintain. I guess I don't know what the right word is for that, but it's very difficult to try and actually get every single person to vote, or at least like even a majority. For again, working and all that.
I was actually more going for like, the fact that like, someone who has like a political science degree and someone who like knows a lot, someone who literally like does work in politics every day. I'm saying since they're not technically a House of Representatives, or since they're technically not part of the Senate, they have like almost no like decision, in their vote, than any random schmuck,
Yeah.
Or that like the people in the Senate have so much more power than the people that are just as qualified as them,
Yeah. Now, granted, I haven't thought any of what I'm about to say out, but I'm just curious what your take on this is. I thought of it like a few seconds ago.
Okay.
What about the whole idea of their vote is worth more than let's say that a normal everyday person is worth 1 vote. Let's say that like everybody who has taken some kind of political science degree or works in some minor public office would get
2 votes,
like 2 or 3 votes.
Yeah,
work.
I see what you're saying. Like I've actually thought something like that before. Like what if it's hierarchical has a negative connotation, but like.
No, I get it. I get what you're saying though. That is the correct word.
No, or it's like some people like obviously. So like this is the idea that people with more experience in politics should have a bigger say, right?
Yeah.
That would make sense, because that's so true. Like that would make sense, all right. But the thing is, it's like
again, it brings in the whole opportunity of getting that degree and such.
Yeah, but I actually like the thing is for this tangent, I'm more going for like the fact that the people who are already up top don't care about the people on bottom as much. The people who are like all the people in the House, all the people in the Senate, even the president, to be honest, like Hillary Clinton. Yeah, do you think like taking all that money from the super PACs, do you think she's gonna like? Does she think she really feels for the people? And do you think good old Trump, who's been like, to be honest, like